The Vanishing of Eli Mercer Part 7. When Jamie Rowe vanished in the spring of 2021, the Sheriff's Department initially attempted to treat the case as unrelated. A solo day hiker, a popular ridge, no immediate signs of foul play. But deep down, every investigator involved in the Mercer case felt the same cold twist in their stomach. The ridge where Jamie disappeared wasn't just familiar. It was the exact trajectory of Eli's item placements, and within 48 hours, that sickening familiarity turned into something stronger. Proof. Jamie Rowe was a photographer, detail-oriented, methodical, and known for time-stamping everything. Her camera, found neatly placed on a sandstone ledge, contained 117 photos from the morning she vanished. But it was the last 3 that froze investigators in silence. Photo 115. A clear shot of Cathedral Basin. Crisp sky. Sharp cliffs. Nothing unusual. Photo 116. A blurry movement in the far left frame. Something tall, vertical, vaguely human-shaped. It could have been a tree, a shadow, a trick of light. But when analysts zoomed in, the shape had shoulders. A silhouette, a head tilted slightly forward. Photo 117, taken 47 seconds later. The shape had moved, closer, further upslope, still indistinct, but undeniably humanoid. Jamie had taken these photos at 4:12 p.m. Her family received her final text. "Someone keeps calling my name." At 4:14 p.m., less than 2 minutes after the last photo, she vanished sometime before 4:20 p.m. No tracks, no disturbed soil, no slide marks, no footprints, no struggle indicators, just one human-shaped blur. And then nothing. The audio discovery. Jamie carried a small lapel microphone during hikes, used for recording ambient sound for her photography blog. The recorder was clipped to her pack strap, and still running when the camera was found. The audio was heavily wind-distorted, crackling, uneven, but after cleaning the file, investigators extracted 17 clear seconds, and those seconds changed everything. The clip begins with Jamie breathing softly, walking, then a pause, footsteps stop, then a voice, a male voice, faint, echoing, directional, but unmistakable. It called, "Jamie." Hale played the recording at least 50 times. Every time, the same reaction rippled across the room. The voice sounded eerily similar to Eli Mercer. Not perfectly, but close enough that multiple officers picked up on the resemblance. Some swore it was him. Some said it was impossible. Some refused to give an opinion at all. But no one denied it. The voice was human. The call was deliberate, and Jamie responded to it. In the audio, she whispers, "Hello, who's there?" Soft wind, a faint rock shift. Then the exact phrase, "ranch hands," reported hearing in February. Over here. Then the recording cuts. No scream, no struggle, just a sudden end, as if someone removed the mic, or turned it off, or the recorder hit the ground in a controlled, almost gentle motion. Once again, the investigators noted, the placement of the camera and microphone was too orderly, like Eli's items, like the thermos, like the boots, like the pack. Hale laid out the side-by-side caseboard. 2 disappearances, 3 years apart. Both subjects were alone at the moment of disappearance, were experienced outdoors, were not injured, left neatly staged items, walked away from safety, heard someone calling their name, followed a voice, vanished without tracks, were last seen near vantage ledges. Both cases involved sudden directional changes, straight line travel into dangerous terrain, abandonment of gear, no survival behavior, no signs of struggle, no predation marks. And both cases included human-like vocal mimicry, blurred figures in the distance, item staging consistent with ritual placement. These weren't coincidences. They were a behavioral signature, a repeating pattern, a pattern that didn't fit natural wilderness deaths, a pattern that didn't fit a human predator either. The mimic signature theory. Dr. Langford reviewed both cases and gave the phenomenon a clinical label: external behavioral influence with environmental manipulation. But off the record, she used a simpler term: mimic signature. She believed something in the Sierra Verdes was copying human cues: voice, posture, movement patterns, item placement rituals, not intelligent in the human sense, not supernatural, but environmental, a psychological predator that exploited human instinct. She described it as something that doesn't hunt bodies, but minds, something that lures its victims with familiarity, draws them off trails, induces compliant behavior, leads them into isolation, ensures they abandon tools and safety, not through force, through imitation. When Hale plotted both disappearance paths on a topographical map, a new shape emerged. Not random scatter, not parallel trails, a triangle. Each major item location: boots, pack, remains, camera, aligned along 3 natural ridges that converged on one central point: an unmarked basin, no trail access, no mining history, no ranching corridors, no campsites, a place no one ever had a reason to visit, an empty hollow in the land, a hollow that sat directly between the 2 disappearance trajectories. Hale circled it, the center of the triangle, the convergence zone, what locals called, in a name older than the ranches and older than the borders, La Boca del Eco, the mouth of the echo. It was the heart of every legend, the source of every story, the place where people said the mountains speak. And now, the center point of 2 disappearances, the decision. Hale looked at the map, then at the audio recorder, then at the blurred silhouette in Jamie's last photo. He knew what had to come next. He needed to go into the basin, not as a rescue, not as recovery, but as investigation. Because for the first time, the sheriff's department had enough evidence to justify sending a small team into the convergence zone, a place no officer had ever entered, a place Eli may have walked toward, a place Jamie may have been drawn into, a place the locals warned about. If the mountains speak, don't answer. Hale prepared the team, not knowing that what they found inside that basin would become the most disturbing chapter of the entire investigation, and the closest anyone would come to understanding what truly happened to Eli Mercer. If you have thoughts or theories, leave them below. And as always, stay safe out there.